So, Carl and all the lovely folks watching at home, do you have a favourite Quentin Tarantino movie?
Is it okay to say no?
I guess so. There might be some reasons behind that.
I've kind of turned around on his movies, just the more I've learned about him as a person. I'm like, oh, he's just like that.
They've become rougher watches over time, that's for sure. But today, we're talking about what I would argue is probably the easiest watch of all of them, which is Kill Bill Volume 1.
Oh, yeah. Uma Thurman breakdancing people's kneecaps off with a samurai sword. Let's fucking go.
Carl, wiggle your big toe.
So, are we going to talk about the fact that... like, Quentin Tarantino is, like, a committed member of Lucas's doghouse?
Yeah, no.
We're going to talk about...
I don't like the fact that you're trying to make this a thing. I don't like the fact that you're trying to make this a thing at all, but...
I'm pushing you don't like that I'm pushing Lucas's doghouse?
I'm not into feet. I just mentioned the fact that a character had their feet out, Carl.
You know what? That's how it starts. Wiggle your big toe, Lune. Wiggle your big toe.
Wiggle that big toe. But yeah, we are talking about Kill Bill Volume 1 specifically, you know, the good movie. But Quentin Tarantino, over the years, has maybe had a lot to maybe be discussed about. And disgusted about, too. But yeah, it's one of those things
you
of like...
You can't help it if he intentionally puts his fetish into all of his movies.
Wiggle your big toe. Wiggle your big toe.
Look, Lucas, are we really going to sit here and criticise a guy for forcing actresses into situations so he can find, like, sexual relief from them? It's not like that's a thing that we kind of had a big movement about a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and like, that's the thing, is that it's not, like, sexual harassment charges as far as I'm aware, but it is like, hey, he's got a lot of women to get their dogs out on screen, potentially for his own benefit.
If he had any other fetish and he put that into his movies, the level of egregiousness he does, like his foot fetish, people will be rightfully calling him out for what he's doing. But because it's feet, people see it as innocent, even though I find it more seedy.
It's still seedy, and we're not going to spend the entire episode on this, don't worry, but the fact that at least he's mostly, apart from one example, looking at the feet and not interacting with them, I guess makes it like a
Lucas,
but
don't make me mention the scene.
There's the Selma Hayek putting the foot and like...
No, don't make me mention the Inglourious Basterds scene.
Oh, I forget about that one, the strangulation scene,
Yeah, so in Inglourious Basterds, a character gets choked out and die, and you get a very egregious shot of her feet wiggling on the floor as she struggles for life. Supposedly, the actor who was strangling that actress didn't give a convincing enough performance, so Quentin Tarantino put on his outfit, straddled the actress, and choked her out on camera for real. Every
time we talk about Quentin Tarantino, who is a talented director, we feel the need to call them out on this shit. Because
it's fucking weird.
Even if it's not like cancelable, quote unquote, it's still fucked up.
It's no different from what Michael Bay did with Megan Fox.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the way he was filming her and leering over her tits when she was like, barely 17, 18 years old?
About 17 or something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Karl, we're going to move on.
Yes.
And we're going to try and have a fun discussion about what is a good film. It's hard to argue with the fact that Quentin Tarantino, clearly a talented director, and has a memorable catalogue of films at this point. It's hard to argue with, right?
Oh, yeah. And Kill Bill's probably one of the better ones.
I would argue, in my eyes, Kill Bill might be the best one in terms of, it does use a lot of homage. A lot of people say that, Tarantino just stole things. It's like, you can pay respect to other things while still making it unique and your own.
He also as well acknowledges everything that he takes.
Yeah.
That was an interview we did with, I believe it's like Radio 1, where they acknowledge, like, hey, the song from Kill Bill, initially, that's from a film called, I forget the name of the film, but that's from this, right? And Tarantino goes, actually, no, that was itself a reference to this other film. And he openly acknowledges that's where he got the song from, that he reached out to the band to use their song personally because he was a fan of it. So he's never shied away from his influences.
No, definitely not. And people turn around, and I've seen arguments of, like, this movie is stealing everything because Uma Thurman's in a Bruce Lee outfit. And a Bruce Lee inspired outfit. And it's like...
It's clearly a reference to Bruce Lee, the originator of that genre.
Yeah.
Like, one of the originators of that entire fucking genre. Those famous actors. Then it's weird, though. I always find that weird because in regards to, like, specific Bruce Lee reference, then he went and made Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Which dunks on Bruce Lee as a dickhead.
Which dunks on Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
And Quentin Tarantino's like, when he was asked, there's a scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood where your, like, made-up OC beats up Bruce Lee. And Bruce Lee is portrayed as being an arsehole. And Quentin Tarantino recounts this completely fake story. It was like, oh yeah, I heard that Bruce Lee would be like, he'd kick stuntmen. And then, like, stuntmen Bruce Lee had worked with, like, that's not true. It's an understood thing in, like, Hong Kong cinema that sometimes stuntmen get kicked. That's just the nature of the job, and Bruce Lee understood that.
And that's the thing, you see some of those, like, kung fu Hong Kong movies, and they just take the hits sometimes. And that's part of stunt working.
Part of stunt working, yeah. And just like Quentin Tarantino's justification for just pissing on a legendary actor's legacy is just, oh, I heard through the grapevine he was an arsehole and never checked whether that was true. It's like, see, recently, he had an interview where he's like, just for no reason, just dunks on Paul Dano.
Oh.
Yeah, like, there's an interview where it's like Paul Dano was in a movie. I forget which movie it was, but like by all accounts, fucking crushed it. And Quentin Tarantino's like, Paul Dano's a crap actor. He's possibly the worst actor in SAG. It's like, Quentin Tarantino, you're in the Screen Actors Guild. Tommy Wiseau is in the Screen Actors Guild.
Maybe writing yourself into a role where you say the N-word in Pulp Fiction, I believe it was. Maybe that might be a worse performance than Paul Dano in anything he's ever done.
I still fully agree with that like tweet I saw of like the casting of Paul Dano as the Riddler is possibly the greatest fucking casting decision ever. That guy genuinely looks like he wants to ask me a riddle. He's got the face of a man who cannot wait to pose a riddle.
If only you knew how long I've been waiting for this day, for this moment.
I don't like that Riddler, to clarify, but...
I don't, but just, he does look like he wants to ask you a riddle.
Paul Dano or Dano, whatever it is, like... They are one of the better young actors in Hollywood nowadays.
Yeah. There was just an interview where randomly, just for no reason, Tarantino goes all in on Paul Dano. It's like, the fuck is... Like, where did that come from?
I appreciate when I say young, probably not that young at this point. But they were one of the, like, rising stars that I appreciated for being in, like, A, weird indie shit, and B, just giving really good performances.
Yeah. Like, speaking of performance, though, Lucas, like, what's your favourite Quentin Tarantino role with the ones I've just sent you?
Oh, you've sent me some. Okay. Oh, dear God.
These are some screenshots from his IMDb of, like, the cameos in his own movies.
Dear fucking God. So, Karl sent me a picture where some of his casted roles are first scalped Nazi, pickup guy, rapist number 1, or asylum attendant number 2, and they are credited roles for Quentin Tarantino.
That he wrote for himself.
That he either wrote or, at least signed off on for himself. Yes.
Mm. No, I've got it here. I've got the quote from him. Dano is such a weak source man. He's just such a weak, uninteresting guy. The weakest fucking actor in SAG. And that's on Dano's role in There Will Be Blood.
In There Will Be Blood? Oh.
I saw a theory that like Quentin Tarantino was annoyed that a guy who looks kind of like him is getting the kind of roles that he'd want, but he could never get cast in them unless he wrote them himself.
Paul Dano is like doing a decent job of acting alongside Daniel Day-Lewis being the insane man he is. He doesn't drink a milkshake, but goddamn, he was memorable in that film. But anyway, Karl, we're not here to talk mainly about Quentin Tarantino. We are here to do an episode of Wiki Weekends. And on Wiki Weekends, we bring up a wiki for a discussion. Generally, that we will try to stick to the wiki as a format, but we probably go off the rails quite a lot.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Anyway, Kill Bill Volume 1 is a 2003 American martial arts film written and directed by Tarantino, which stars Uma Thurman as the bride, who swears revenge on a group of assassins who are played by Lucy Liu, Daryl Hannah, Vivica A. Fox, and Michael Madsen. And then they also have their leader, Bill, who is played by David Carradine.
And who is your favourite member of Fox Force 5?
It's Lucy Liu. Like, there isn't another contender.
It's got to be Lucy Liu, right?
It's O-Ren Ishii, who the entire first film is basically based around.
O-Ren Ishii was the easiest to find. But of course, when one manages the difficult task of becoming queen of the Tokyo underworld, one doesn't keep it a secret, does one?
It makes no sense that, like, fucking the other people turn on. Although I do like the fight she has with Vivica Fox, where she's just a mom, and she's just making cereal for a kid, and just the bride just fucking karate kicks away and starts whooping her ass.
The opening to this film is that the bride has, become pregnant, fallen in love, gotten out of this group of assassins, and Bill basically goes, "Oh, she's betrayed us. We're going to hunt her down and kill her." And yeah, that's essentially the opening for the movie. They quote unquote kill her. They kill everyone else in the wedding. And then it's a revenge tale of the bride didn't actually die. She ends up coming back out of a coma and goes and kills them all. But
just kills everyone. She basically just kills fucking everybody who's ever wronged her, which is a lot of people.
Yeah, and Copperhead, played by Vivica A. Fox, is the first person that you see fight in the movie, and they immediately go to like, "Hey, don't kill me in front of my child," but then a couple of minutes later, start the fight again inside of their own house.
Weapon of choice? If you want to stick with your butcher knife, that's fine with me. Very funny, bitch. Very funny!
It's a really interesting thing. I do like the part where it's like, look, I'll fight you, but not in front of my daughter. And the fact that like, the bride's like, really? You expect me to give you that honor? Like, you shot me at my fucking wedding when I was pregnant. And now you're the one asking for me to not kill you in front of your child. And she even says yes. The fact that the bride agrees and then Copperhead tries to just go back on it and shoot her like through the cereal box or something, right?
Through the cereal box, yeah. And it's baffling to me that they agree on a time and day. And this woman must know I am just, trying to manipulate the bride at this point. Because she clearly has a plan to just try and shoot her dead in her house.
Oh, yeah.
But they even point out the fact that my kid would have been around your age at this point. Copperhead had clearly got pregnant around the same time as the bride, but didn't suffer the same consequences from Bill.
It's also, I hate the open-ended plot thread that was supposed to be addressed in a theoretical sequel, where Copperhead's daughter, where the bride goes over and look, one day I imagine you'll want to seek revenge as I sought revenge against your mother. I'll be waiting. The proposed sequel, Kill Bill 3, was going to be that little girl coming to kill an aged bride.
Well, there's a reason I'm talking about Kill Bill specifically around this time, Karl.
Okay.
There is an event in Fortnite, of all things, that is Yuki's Revenge, I think it's called. And it is the tale of Gogo Yubari's sister coming to seek revenge against the bride, which wasn't filmed for Kill Bill, even though they intended on doing it in the first place, and has now become apparently a really shit thing that they put into Fortnite and is horribly done.
Why is it? Yeah. I can only imagine the only reason it's that character rather than the little girl is because Gogo Yubari is a far more interesting and memorable character from the film. It's like Vivica Fox's character literally just gets killed in a fucking sweats in a kitchen, whereas Gogo Yubari gets an entire introduction and a backstory.
The young girl in the schoolgirl uniform is Oren's personal bodyguard, 17-year-old Gogo Yubari. Gogo may be young, but what she lacks in age, she makes up for in madness.
I'm very aware of these movies. I have watched them many a time, and Kill Bill Volume 2, in my head, I just thought, I'm not going to bother, because every good bit of Kill Bill that you remember is Volume 1.
With
like,
the exception
all
of the training scene, the training sequence.
With, like, the really horribly stereotypical Asian man.
Yeah, I think you only get away with that because it's like, oh, it's a throwback to old, like, kung fu movies where, like, the wise and master would look like that.
Yeah, it's not done tastefully, let's just say that. The one thing that I really remember from Kill Bill Volume 2, the most iconic thing, apart from the punching through the coffin, is the eye pull, right? The pinch of the eye. Did not remember, even the eye pinch is in Volume 1.
Mm-hmm.
The bride pulls off that move without comment in Volume 1 of just like, just
it's like
pulls out
some
the
random
eye.
dude, right?
And it's just one of the crazy 88 just gets eye pulled. And it's, oh yeah, even that moment that's iconic from Volume 2 is still in Volume 1.
And I just want to give credits to Daryl Hannah, who plays Ellie Driver, for what might be some of the best, like, just I am in agony acting I've ever seen. Because her acting when her eye gets ripped out is genuinely fucking, like, harrowing. Her screams are blood-curdling, and just her, like, pathetic flailing as she just desperately is trying to fight.
Yeah.
It's awful.
It really
She
is.
deserves it. She's a piece of shit.
Yeah, no, that's one thing to clarify, is that even Michael Madsen's, I think it's Bud,
Yeah.
in Volume 1, is like, yeah, we all deserve to die.
Yeah, what we did to that woman, we all deserve to die.
That woman deserves her revenge. And we deserve to die.
But I also like as well when she tries to come in and kill him, he just shoots him in the chest with a shotgun and goes, I know I deserve to die, but I didn't say I wouldn't fight back.
He never said he wouldn't defend himself, and that's one of the most brutal things ever. He opened the door to just shotgun to the chest.
Yeah, rock salt as well, specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not even like going to kill it, it just really fucking hurts.
For anyone that's unfamiliar somehow with Kill Bill Volume 1, like, that's the thing, it's a cult classic, right?
It is, yeah.
It's not a hyper-popular movie.
It's the definition of a cult classic, because it didn't do as well as you'd think, given the level of, like, pop culture relevancy it enjoys. Like, I think I'm looking at the budget and box office now, like 30 million budget, very, like, modest for the scope of the film. And then, like, 180 million at the box office. But I can't think of a single person I'd be able to talk to who wouldn't know what Kill Bill is.
Yeah, it's great in terms of profit margins, but, you know, obviously, I should say, it does seem like there isn't a person that I could know, that I could speak to, that wouldn't know what Kill Bill is, to the point where it's got a spin-off in Fortnite as, like, a big season. They've just done The Simpsons, and their follow-up is Kill Bill.
And go on then, Lucas. What's your favourite moment in Kill Bill? That's not one of, like, the iconic moments.
Ooh, not one of the iconic moments.
Because, of course, we can talk about, like, you know, the Crazy 88 fight, or, like, the duel in the snow versus Lucy Liu, or any of the flashbacks. But one I'll single out is the very final part of the Crazy 88 fight, where just Uma Thurman's like, oh, this dude's is like his first fucking day, and she just, like, slaps him with the sword and says, fucking get out of here.
Cuts his blade into pieces and then just whips him on the arse and is like, go home to your parents.
Just the fact she just looks and she knows this dude is not cut out for this. Like, he's like the last guy they send in because they've got literally nobody else.
That is one of my favourite things in media, is just the grunt that knows when to get out. And obviously Uma Thurman kicks him out by whipping his arse.
Oh yeah,
but
literally.
Still, the kid just knows, I'm done for. I might as well run.
It's like we always single out the moment in Austin Powers, right, with Michael Caine, of like just the anonymous henchman's trying to shoot him, and just Michael Caine's, look, mate, have you any idea how many anonymous henchmen I've killed? You've not got a name tag. Just lie down. Or that shot from, I think it's like Batman the Animated Series, where like a goon walks into a room and sees Batman just searching through his boss's shit. Voice off camera is like, did you see anything in there? Nope. Just shuts the door. It's like, I'm not fighting Batman.
Or the smartest two stormtroopers to ever exist, right?
Oh, yeah.
When Kylo Ren is just, like, going on his teenage rampage and absolutely destroying, like, whatever screens are there in front of him because he's just having a bitch. And
yeah, I mean, it's like those two stormtroopers, like, you know what, we're not paid enough to deal with this. Whatever cleaning droid is in nets can deal with that.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Let's just turn back around. It's one thing that I do kind of enjoy is that everyone dies, like, you know, so easily in that fight, because for context, people may or may not know that there is like a Quentin verse, and Quentin Tarantino, I don't know whether it holds up, but does say that every single one of his movies exists within the same universe.
Yeah, they're all like connected by there's a couple of like directors' trademarks like Red Apple cigarettes, and I mentioned like Fox Force 5 earlier. That's a reference to Pulp Fiction. Where Uma Thurman's character mentions how I auditioned for a show called Fox Force 5, which is about 5 female like super spies who all had special skills. I was the knife expert.
That leads to Kill Bill, which is apparently a movie within the universe of the Quentin Tarantino verse. So,
that's one of the theories. One of the theories is that Kill Bill is the movie adaptation of Fox Force 5.
I think
from Pulp Fiction.
Tarantino has, in later years, confirmed that. I've just said, like, the reason that Kill Bill is so exaggerated in terms of, you know, the gore and especially the blood, just like spurting out, losing 100 litres of blood of an arm, is because, Kill Bill is the movie that is shown within the Tarantino verse, and
which itself is already elevated and full of like exaggerated violence.
Exactly, right. This is something that's like on another level because it is literally an exaggerated movie within my exaggerated movie universe already. It kind of makes sense, right, of just how over the top and crazy Kill Bill is, because there are times where, like, the bride does, like, break dancing on the floor with the sword and just, like, starts cutting limbs off and stuff.
But another moment that I really like as well is it's something that's only, to my knowledge, happened in a couple of like action movies, and it's where you get to see the aftermath of the giant fight scene where there are 100 dudes getting their ass kicked by the protagonist. Of like after the Crazy 88 fight, it zooms out and there's like just 50 dudes on the floor rolling around with no arms, screaming. You rarely see the aftermath of those kind of fights.
Yeah, I really love the fact that it's a very good line, and I'll put the clip in of just... I'm going to butcher it, but you are allowed to, like, leave with your lives, but leave your limbs here. They belong to me now. Mada, inochi ga aru mono, sore wa motte kaeru ga ii! Tadashi, nakushita te ashi wa oitette morau yo. Kore wa mou watashi no monda.
It's such a poorly delivered line, but I feel like that's kind of the point of the bride isn't an action hero, but she's trying to say the crazy lines to establish the legend that she's trying to build.
Also, the bride is, you know, Uma Thurman, who is not Japanese, trying to deliver a lot of these lines in Japanese.
The same is true of every actor in the film.
Yeah, exactly right.
Except for, weirdly, like the person playing the translator, who speaks like almost perfect fluent Japanese.
Seemingly better than
better
Lucy
Japanese
Liu.
than Lucy Liu's character, who's in the comic. Like Lucy Liu is Chinese American, I believe, but in the film she's like Chinese Japanese.
Like a Chinese Japanese who is born in like an American military base. And I do love Lucy Liu in this film. Like, I think Lucy Liu is maybe more iconic as a Ren Ishii in this movie than the bride.
Oh yeah, like Lucy Liu absolutely steals the role. Like, it's a lot of that has to do with like the whole bloody affair, which like is just randomly just cut to an anime segment and fuck Quentin Tarantino for all those lies he's told over the years of, oh, there's definitely a full-length feature version of that. It's like, well, fucking release it then.
Well, it says here in the Wiki, Karl, that the whole bloody affair is actually the new release of the movie.
In the lead up to the release of the whole bloody affair, there was supposedly talk of like, oh, there's a feature-length version of that anime segment in the middle. It's like, no, fuck you. It's not. It doesn't exist.
It doesn't seem to exist, and there is an anime sequence in the middle of this movie, like just randomly thrown into the middle of this film, which is great.
It should have been the whole film.
Yeah, it is amazing, and it is a sequence brought by Production I.G. Apparently, an extended version of it, but we see no evidence of that. It's just Tarantino running his mouth. But that anime sequence is insanely good and got really like cool fluid animation. And you mentioned earlier is like the highlight that isn't like one of the specific most iconic things. Mm-hmm. I think to the moment where Orenishi has the gun and shoots the guards, and like in the anime sequence, she doesn't like shoot them and they just go down. She like blows the limbs off.
Oh yeah, it's like his leg explodes completely. We get an elevated violence of the universe.
It's insanely cool and horrifying, to clarify. Mm-hmm. But just the idea that like, yeah, she shoots a guy, his ankle completely explodes with a handgun, and then the moment he hits the floor, there's already another bullet coming for his head.
Yeah, plus as well, like, just Orenishi has a way more interesting backstory as well. Like, oh, she was like one of the world's greatest assassins at 14 fucking years old. It's like, let me see that movie!
夏美と私を見て私の顔をよーく見て
It's a really cool sequence, it's a really cool character, and it's kind of why Volume 1 holds up so well, is because it is a really cool, really uniquely styled movie, mostly just based around the one character. And then Volume 2 has to deal with backstory plus 3 other revenge tales. And
that's because supposedly Kill Bill was supposed to be one movie, but it was like 4 hours long in the initial edit, so Tarantino split it into 2 movies. I'm not sure how much of that I believe.
Then, Yuki's Revenge was another part that they'd conceived, and decided
I don't believe for a second.
Not put in the movie, but have now released it for Fortnite, and again, it's apparently really badly done.
I don't believe for a second that was a thing. I just think like Quentin Tarantino looked through the script and looked for some scraps. Mm-hmm. I believe it was, like, given the reception to it, I believe it was barely fleshed out.
And what I think it is a response to, the response of the movie, which all of a sudden Go-Go, even though they only got realistically maybe 5 minutes on the film.
Oh yeah.
They just became this really iconic character that people remember to this day.
Well, it's all down to the actress, because the actress is like just has a really, really interesting look, because she has like the flawless porcelain features, but she has the ability to like just go completely dead behind the eyes.
I was gonna say, has that ability to just become that like really psychopathic look in her eyes. Yeah,
we'll credit the actress have a name here, so it's Chiaki Kuriyama, and I'm aware of her work for Battle Royale, where she plays a similar character in that, which is, I think Quentin Tarantino saw her in that and cast her based on the strength of her performance as a schoolgirl who's also a psychopath.
もっとマシな頼み方ないの?
They were a very cool role in that movie, and weirdly enough, kind of the one that kicks the bride's ass the most.
Yeah, like, of all the people the bride fights who don't have the jump on her, like, the fight against Gogo Yubari, that's a straight-up one-on-one fight where the bride is fully aware that Gogo's going to kick her ass. Like, Bud gets the drop on her with a shotgun, Daryl Hannah does the...
Bud just, like, literally shoots her without her knowing, but Gogo actually almost beats her in a one-on-one fight.
Like, gives her a run for it. She does a better job than fucking Orenishi.
Yeah, no, literally, yeah. It's kind of insane when you go back and look at it, of these groups of assassins that cannot beat the bride, and Gogo almost does it.
Almost does it, yeah.
As this, 17-year-old kid that just happens to have this, ball and chain meteor hammer with the razor blades passed in and nearly kills the bride until she improvises just a broken bit of table to kill her. I was rewatching Kill Bill Volume 1 the other day just for this video, and it really stood out to me of, oh yeah, maybe there's a reason that everyone remembers Go-Go, because she kicks the ass out of the bride more than anyone else.
Yeah, and that's what you said you watched Kill Bill Volume 1, you didn't watch the double feature, because I think one of the things that becomes evident when you watch them as a double feature is that, oh, this is so poorly paced, because why do they put the fucking backstory in the second movie and it's an hour long? Yeah,
it's one of those things that I realised the last time that I watched them as a double feature is there is an unfathomable amount of drop-off between Volume 1 and Volume 2. I would classify Volume 1 as a really iconic modern movie, and Volume 2, it's nothing.
Yeah, I feel like the best version of Kill Bill would have been just take out a couple of scenes from number 2, drop them into number 1 for some much-needed context.
Yes, but arguably you make 2 good movies rather than 1 great movie and 1 mediocre movie. I do think that essentially what happened was all of the good ideas got used in Volume 1 and they cut it around those good ideas. And then it was kind of expected that Volume 2 you'd already just be invested at that point.
Yeah, also can we talk about how bad besides the fight against Ellie Driver, how fucking bad the fight scenes are in the second one, and how absolutely just abysmal an ending it has of Bill is the deadliest man in the world and he sits in a fucking chair and the bride blows his heart up.
Yeah.
And do you know the only reason they did that is because David Carradine couldn't fucking fight?
Yeah, even though he's ironically billed as the person that is essentially the most dangerous man in the world.
He's the snake charmer, yeah. He's the guy who managed to just somehow get this group of badasses to fall in line because he was the biggest badass. He doesn't throw a single fucking punch. He was trained by Pai Mai.
Yeah,
he had a Hattori Hanzo sword.
Exactly. Hattori Hanzo in the first movie, also great character there. Hattori Hanzo,
Oh, is that the most badass line? This is the finest sword I've ever constructed. If God is in your path, God will be cut.
God will be cut. Yeah.
It's a fucking good sword. Then Go-Go Yabari just steals it. Scorpions it out of the hand.
But the fact that Hattori Hanzo is mad enough about Bill to come out of retirement to make the most badass sword ever existed, and then Bill is just a dude who sits in a chair, as you say.
He doesn't even fight.
You ain't kidding.
I don't know how formidable a warrior Bill necessarily is, or whether just...
Okay, Lucas, please. Because David Carradine could not fucking act. He could barely act.
Oh, no.
Actually, okay, he could act.
Yeah.
He couldn't fight. For some reason, he became associated with martial arts. He was on a show called Kung Fu, where he played the main character who's supposed to be this master of Kung Fu. Fun fact, originally the role was going to go to Bruce Lee. The studio didn't want to cast an Asian guy in a show called Kung Fu. So they cast David Carradine. David Carradine wore grease paint and kind of squinted his eyes a little bit. Never learned how to fight, but then coasted on the fact he was in Kung Fu to position himself as a martial arts master. And there is an absolutely fucking hilarious video out there of David Carradine trying to sell this every celebrity had the shitty gimmick exercise tool. He tries to sell this Tai Chi thing, and it's literally just a length of hose. And the video is just him in his back garden swinging around a hose drunk off his ass.
And
please put that clip in.
I'll try and find it. But
it's on YouTube. It is fucking hilarious.
You tend to move with it, even though it's not required. You could stand here and do it like this, right? But it seems to make you wanna Move a little.
I've seen the breakdown as well. I've seen Tarantino say, well, that's the point of Bill is a threat because he's a threat, like, because of how, like, Machiavellian he is. It's like, but it's an action movie and there's not a final climactic action scene. That fucking sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. And Volume 2 is just worse in many, many ways. And it should have been a cool action scene at the end, similar to the fight with Oren Ishii. But, like, the implication is that Bill is dangerous because of his charm, and that every single one of the people that work for Bill has just seduced, and they're in love with Bill. It's almost every single character mentions if they haven't slept with Bill, that they are in love with Bill or have some kind of backstory with Bill. And
Bud's brother, for example.
Yeah, obviously Bud's a bit different, but every other
they
character
have some sort of established relationship with him.
But every other character, like all of the females, seem to suggest that, hey, Bill was romantically involved with me and I fell in love with Bill. And that's where they're fighting for him, and that seems to be Bill's kind of power, quote unquote, is that maybe Bill isn't the most dangerous person himself. He was still trained by Padme, had a Hattori Hanzo sword, but yeah, maybe his actual power was his charm.
And that's why he's called the Snake Charmer. That's his name. Because all the other members of Fox Force 5 are named after snakes.
Yeah. And
I still think that it's hilarious that he just doesn't get a fight scene. And you know the reason is because David Carradine couldn't fucking fight and he was probably too drunk.
Yeah, that's the real problem with the ending of the movie, is that you would expect that a movie called Kill Bill would end with a cool fight scene against Bill, and it's just a conversation about a child that is secretly alive, and then she punches her heart to death. However, to get off the negative aspects of the movies, I do think that Kill Bill Volume 1 nails almost everything it is trying to do. And it is genuinely, I think, one of the most iconic movies to come out in the past, 20 plus years.
Oh yeah, like the image of the bride, wearing that big Pac-Man helmet and the yellow jumpsuit is iconic, and it's weird because it's iconic because it's a reference to another thing that's iconic of Bruce Lee in the suit, the action scene.
I
super
do
cool.
think it became kind of iconic in itself as well, of the bride in the yellow jumpsuit with the sword.
Yeah,
and I do respect the absolute dedication to the theme, where you think it's the motorcycle suit that is the Bruce Lee jumpsuit. And then she goes into the toilet, takes that off, and underneath is another Bruce Lee jumpsuit.
Yeah, I also respect that she has "fuck you" written on her shoes.
Yeah.
That's such a good detail with "fuck you" written. Again, that's a cool detail, but then Tarantino was stroking as he filmed his shots. And God damn it! Yeah. That's such a cool detail for the costume. She got "fuck you" written on her feet.
But obviously, I speak about this movie being very cool and iconic. I was a new teenage boy.
Every teenage boy or aspiring edgelord watch Kill Bill 2 and listen to that Superman speech, and then at some point in the future try to say that speech but worse and present it as their idea.
I was a perfect age to be a teenager growing up with Kill Bill as my teenager movie. Mm-hmm. And I think there's probably a bunch of people that are 10 years older than me that think the same of the likes of Pulp Fiction. And there's probably a bunch of people that are 10 years younger than me that probably think the same of a Django Unchained. Or Django Unchained.
Unchained's fucking fantastic. I'll take it back earlier. Do you want to say my favourite Tarantino? I'm going to say Django Unchained, specifically for the story I was told by a black friend of mine. And they told me that the best cinematic experience they've ever had is when they were in a majority black neighbourhoods, local theatre, watching Django Unchained, and the moment where Django grabs the whip and starts whipping the slave owner with the whip, the audience lost their shit so much that they had to rewind and show it again. It's I will never have that experience. That sounds incredible.
I watched that movie, and in my head, I thought to myself, that's Catharsis, the movie. I can't imagine the experience other people have had watching that film with closer experiences to myself. But
the entire theatre losing its shit, how they rewound it and played it again.
I think as well, speaking of cathartic moments, just that moment early on where she's newly out of a coma and the bride just absolutely annihilates two dudes that are horrible, rapists.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like, yeah, just that moment where she realizes who Buck is and they likes to fuck, and she just like crushes him with the door.
Yeah. Also, as
like,
well,
just feels good.
Also, they say, like, the bride's the deadliest woman in the world. Well, is she really that deadly? Well, she kicks the shit out of two people 5 seconds after getting out of a coma.
Two big dudes straight out of a coma without working legs. She just annihilates them. Just the moment as well where like Buck comes in and it's such a brutal, just the cut to the Achilles heel like straight away.
Yeah. Oh, it's rough. It just reminds me a little bit of Metal Gear Solid 5, where, like, right at the start of that game, where Quiet comes in to kill the boss, and the boss, like, sets her on fire and falls out of a window. And I just, like, remember someone, I was watching a playthrough of it where the Let's Player just say, imagine what that looked like from the perspective of the people outside of, hey, Quiet, go in there and kill this dude in a coma. 5 seconds later, she falls out of a window on fire. It's like, yeah, that's Big Boss. That's the greatest soldier who ever lived right there. Like, go in and kill him, he's in a coma. She falls out the window on fire.
I wonder what Bill thinks in that moment where it's the end of, episode 2 or volume 2. Just the bride is sitting opposite him and he thinks back and goes, oh, we did tell Elle to close off the mission and abandon the poisoning of her while she's in a coma. Because she deserves better. It's not honourable. But do you think Bill in that moment goes, oh, fuck. I didn't think it would get to this point.
Yeah. I also love as well, it's like it would not be honourable to kill her like this. Like, you shot her in the back of her head at her own fucking wedding. Yeah, I love that Bill's such a piece of shit and such a hypocrite, and he's so convinced in his holier-than-thou attitude, and he's so convinced that he's right.
Did like a 5v1 against her at her own wedding when she was in a wedding dress and pregnant, shot her in her head and went, no, we're better than killing her in a coma.
And she almost clutched it out. She almost clutched out like the 4v1 in the Gulag. In the bride, man, top tier. Also, I just looked it up as well, Lucas. This can't be a detail, that's right. So, Joe, that like Fortnite mini story of Yuki's Revenge.
Oh no.
Tarantino has said that he's editing that back into the movie, and there's going to be a new theatrical run of Kill Bill: The Whole Bloody Affair where that's edited in.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be like Fortnite models in fucking a new version of Kill Bill.
I started watching a clip of the Fortnite thing where, why is there not just an official Fortnite posting of the video? I know it's to get you to play the game. I know why.
Yeah.
But why is there not just a video on YouTube showing me this shit? Every time I tried to look it up, I had to look up somebody's like random streamed gameplay of it, and I started watching a couple of minutes and went, this is not good. This is terrible.
Go watch the re-release of The Whole Bloody Affair with it edited in. And I hope they also can't get an official version of it, and you just see people like emoting in the background.
How funny would it be if just The Whole Bloody Affair, which is releasing in like a couple of days, comes out and it's just, streamer number one, like, I don't know which streamer, but streamer number one of Fortnite emoting while The Whole Bloody Affair plays on like a projector in the background.
It's like I said, one of the funniest fucking out of context clips I've ever seen. Here's the footage of when Fortnite just put the "I Have a Dream" speech in from Martin Luther King, and it's just the alien xenomorph from Alien and Rick from Rick and Morty just hitting the fucking griddy in front of the speech,
in front of like the "I Have a Dream" speech. It's like, this is not a way to respect Martin Luther King. I don't know if you know this, but Fortnite characters are in it. Like, Peely comes in that Kill Bill scene. Like, they've incorporated Fortnite characters, again, apparently, I haven't been able to watch it officially because I didn't want to download Fortnite.
You're going to have to watch it for this. And do you know what? I need to know how few fucks Uma Thurman gave when reprising the role.
Uma Thurman came back. All credit to Uma Thurman, but...
How much money do they have to pay her to come back and do that? Because it's understandably so, given that she was like nearly fucking like crippled in a car crash that Quentin Tarantino assured her would be safe. She and Tarantino did not have the best relationship following the release of that movie.
Yeah, if you want to hear more about Uma Thurman, you can listen to another episode that's going to be released this month about her daughter, who is in Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, do you see as well? Oh god, you've got to have seen the interview with Maya Hawke, right? Where it's like, oh, did your mum give you any advice? Like Maya Hawke's like Uma Thurman, Ethan Hawke's daughter.
Mm.
Like, do your parents give you any advice for like your burgeoning movie career? It's like, yeah, my mum told me don't take my shoes off in front of Quentin Tarantino.
If you would like to watch the episode that we talk about Stranger Things, then make sure you are subscribed to the channel. And if you like this video, give us a like. Consider supporting us over on Patreon. Helps keep all of these lights and mics on. And if you would like to see our feet, go and join the Discord to see the Lucas Doghouse section, apparently.
That is probably the funniest off-the-cuff thing I've said recently. Of when we're talking about Expedition 33, and you mentioned just offhand, oh yeah, Lune. A lot of people like that character because she's not wearing shoes. I'm like, yeah, that's you in it, Lucas. Join our Discord. Join Lucas's Doghouse and send pictures of your feet to us.
It's not a real thing, but go check out the Discord anyway.
It's such... I don't know why. He's so mean. And I'm very sorry.
Oh, apparently Lucas's Doghouse will always exist in our hearts and our minds.
Hopefully you respect the bit.
I do respect the bit.
Please tell me you respect the bit.
I do. So, Karl, what a wiki page we've just gone through, and I was exhilarated by the conversation we've just had.
Yeah, I very much enjoyed our discussion of Insert Topic Here.
Insert Topic Here was fantastic, yes.
But for anyone still watching the video up to this point, first of all, thank you for supporting the content. It's very much appreciated. You watching to this point is very good for our analytics, so well done you. But also, this is the part of the video where myself and Lucas shout out our supporters over on our Patreon, or our PPs, as we like to call them.
Well, there are big PPs, Karl.
You are correct, Lucas. The size of their PPs is very intimidating.
I don't like this, but I guess at this point it should become the branding. Karl made this joke, and we live with it forever.
Exactly, yeah. Do you know what? That's the origin of all the content we've worked on, Lucas. I made a bad joke, we're fucking rolling with it.
We are rolling with it. I apologise if you don't like being called a big PP, but that's what we've landed on, apparently.
And if you don't like being called a big PP, you can choose exactly how we refer to you, because a fun game we have between us and our supporters over on our Patreon is them trying to fuck us over by coming up with the most weird, obscure, or difficult to pronounce name they can for us to shout out. For example, Lucas, who have we got to give a shout out to first?
Well, we have to give a shout out to the Burning Dragon who gave us Morse code to interpret.
And I'm going to be honest, the creativity being displayed by our audience is frightening. And I'm not sure how one would verbalise Morse code. I guess like ... dash ... But that's going to get real old real fast. So we popped the Morse code into a translator, and it told us that it said, please pay to use this Morse code translator. So we popped it into a free one, and it said, hey, Karl and Lucas love the content, which is a great name. I like that name.
It's a very, very nice name for us to deal with, right? Of like, compared to what we may deal with later down the line, it's a very forgiving one, even though it was in, I want to say not even a language, just a symbolism that we did not know off the top of our heads.
As I said, I'm waiting for someone to like track down like ancient Sanskrit.
I'm waiting for the moment that happens, and then Karl opens up the shout-outs with, I can't believe somebody did this.
I can't believe you've done this. But Lucas, who do we have to shout out next?
Well, afterwards we have to shout out ghost emoji, ghost emoji, ghost emoji, little underscore ghost, ghost emoji, ghost emoji, ghost emoji. So, little ghost, thank you.
Lucas, you forgot the most important part. The ghost emojis are sticking their tongue out.
They are cheeky ghosts. Like
They're little cheeky ghosts.
Tatum, just get in the car.
Little_ghost always refer to those just little ghost kamikaze attack ghosts from Dragon Ball Z.
And it's annoying, we can't put a clip in of that because apparently every time like Gotenks use Super Ghost Kamikaze attack, it was known over here as the seizure beam. Because the effects they use for Super Ghost Kamikaze causes seizures, which admittedly is a pretty powerful attack. Why didn't more characters in Dragon Ball use the seizure beam? We greatly respect Little Ghost and their commitment to their branding and theming. We wholeheartedly endorse and respect that. But moving swiftly on, the next person to shout out is another long-time supporter of the content. That is Tinakui Horshata. And they followed up with, this is going to be embarrassing for me. People probably can tell that I'm not a student of language, but Tinakui Horshata, Nikwa, Talax Kali, Wan Nikone, So Pelato, To Huantin, Tit Klawoma, Mayak Talak Wali, Tika Mati, Tr, Kal Tikilt Yoan. And I don't want to run that through a translator because I don't deserve to know what it means.
Did you hear something? No. Did I? I don't know.
It is one of those things I think Karl probably deserves for inciting the challenge of come fuck us up.
Yeah, I did invite our audience to submit names that'd be difficult for us to pronounce for their own amusement. So, Tinakui Horshata, I greatly appreciate that you've continued to do that. And you, as well, they shift up their name each and every month, so I can't learn the pronunciation, or even the dog shit pronunciation that I use. But yes, thank you for supporting us for so long, even though I continually butcher your name in the outros to our videos.
Yeah, I think I have a little bit of an easier one to shout out this time, which is Split Scream, and they've the additional Easter Island head at the end of their name today, so I appreciate that.
It is my understanding that the Easter Island head emoji is used to portray someone who's super stoic and badass.
Oh, right, okay.
Like, do you like the Chad meme? Like, people always like when you got like super strong jawline and like, handsome features like I have. Like, you just like post like loads of Easter Island head emojis underneath.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. But
I sure hope that people don't watch this far into the video. I'm like, no, you don't, Karl. It's like, it's a joke. I'm being self-depreciating.
Yikes! Squidward, you're even more handsome now!
But moving on, next person shout out is another long-time supporter who's kept their name very consistent. The only thing more consistent than their support has been their dedication to the name, Rosalindis Memphis. And in that vein, I will continue with my commitment to try and find a song with the word Memphis in it to edit in with your name. I have yet to find one that doesn't get these shout-outs copyright struck. I will find one. There is a song out there that the owner of doesn't give enough of a shit about to sweep YouTube for copyright claims.
I had to send you the notification of like, I'm really sorry, Karl. The Nightcore versions didn't make it.
Yes, I initially I put in a clip from Mark Combs walking in Memphis. That got copyright struck. Then I thought, didn't Cher do a cover of that song? Yeah, Cher sent us a copyright strike. Well, hang on a sec. Maybe if I speed up the Mark Combs Cher version, still got a copyright strike. Hang on a sec. And then I thought to myself, surely there's a Nightcore remix of this song. There's a Nightcore remix of everything. I found it. Master Blaster, who did the remix, also sent us a copyright strike. I'm running out of covers of that song to try, but I will keep trying for as long as you're willing to support our content. Thank you, Rosalindis Memphis.
Hell, goddamn yeah. And the next person that I have to shout out is Rama Sawatome. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but yeah, just absolute shout out to them. And I unfortunately don't have a Sawatome song to put in here as like a clip.
And I'm not familiar with the character of Rama Sawatome, so when I googled it for last month, again, long-time supporter, it's appreciated. It's from some anime, so that's cool. Okay. I learned something new. So in addition to supporting our content, Rama Sawatome introduced me to an anime I wasn't familiar with, so I appreciate that also. And the next person to shout out is another name I recognise, Kicking Bucket. And Lucas, Kicking Bucket means to shuffle off his mortal coil, What's a character from fiction you think eats shit especially hard? I can put a clip in of.
Eat shit especially hard might be Krillin, but the person that first came to mind was the person that I guess makes themselves eat shit a lot, which was Bakugo from My Hero Academia.
I'm going to put in a clip of that one, like, orc in Lord of the Rings who gets drop kicked out a window by another orc. Because it's such a random moment, but I remember watching Lord of the Rings and going, hang on, that was awesome. I'm definitely going to find an excuse to put a clip of that in some of my content at some point. So here it is. Sponsored by Kicking Bucket.
You saying, like, somebody getting dropkicked and eating shit reminds me of Age of Ultron, where Steve, Captain America, just goes fully horizontal.
I will never get over when just Steve Rogers goes full pencil and fucking just annihilates that Ultron drone. But, Lucas, who have we got to shout out next?
And Karl, the next person that we have to shout out is Daddy Grunt. And with this being...
To clarify, that's Daddy Grunt.
Yeah.
So do you want to be Daddy or do you want to be Grunt?
That's the real question. Is, like, to me, I think at least putting a clip from Jingle All the Way of just Arnold Schwarzenegger being the daddy.
Okay, and then can I put in a clip of Arnold Schwarzenegger like, who is your daddy and what does he do? It's not a tumor.
I have a headache.
It might be a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
You know, December-worthy clip of Arnold Schwarzenegger being a daddy is just Jingle All the Way, where he is the daddy.
Yeah, like my favorite thing about that film is like Arnold Schwarzenegger's head is so big he wears like the martial arts belt his son gets around his head and it barely fits. Like a belt designed to go around like a child's waist for martial arts. Arnold Schwarzenegger can barely tie it around his massive fucking head.
The fact that people just treat that dude like he's a regular suburban dad and not Mr. Universe.
Like, never forget that in that movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger Shin Shoryukens a fucking reindeer and sends it through the air. But anyway, last but not least, we have to shout out Be of Awesome, another month, another zesty expedition. Can you say this one 3 times fast? One smart fellow, he felt smart. One smart fellow, he felt smart. One smart fellow, he felt smart.
Which I do want to let everyone know that was Karl's second take, because, yeah, that was actually difficult to say.
In the rehearsal, I did it first time. I did it first time without mistakes in the rehearsal. That's 2 out of 3. Fuck you. We're done. Thank you for supporting the content. We'll see you all next month. Have a great new year. Great Christmas. Whatever you happen to celebrate. Just make sure you go out there and have a great time. Spread some cheer, some joy, some good times, as we try to do this year.
Hell, goddamn yeah.